In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.
So would you please welcome into the trenches the queen herself, Doro Pesch. Hello, Doro.
Hey, good to be with you guys. How you doing?
Out of the gate, man. You are one of those artists, Doro, that has made this transition from a two-named artist, Doro Pesch, as many people know you, and now you made that transition just to Doro. Just like Prince, Sting, Seal, Madonna. What is with the one name? Do you enjoy having that one name? Because I think someday I might want to become just Roxie.
Roxie, yeah. Oh God, yeah, go for it. I think it sounds great. Yeah, actually, I tell you, there's no reason behind it. My band was called Warlock, and then we had some trouble with that name. And 20 years later, I got the rights back, and then everybody said, "Well, call it Doro or Doro Pesch," and I thought, okay. But
I want to. You know what? That's one of the most. I've always heard urban legend about that. And you know what? What a better way to start the podcast than with a little controversy, I think, folks. I want to hear that transition time between Warlock and then the decision to go Doro Pesch and then just plain old Doro. Because I was wondering if it was a name change just for the sake of having a name change because of record labels, etc., or was it a complete mindset? So what's the real story behind that?
Yeah, the real story. Roxy, we formed in 82, and I had many bands before, and then in 82 we formed Warlock, and we could tell, it had some magic. And then we did our first record. It was Burning the Witches. Then it was Hellbound. Yeah, I see the guys. That was my lineup in 87, 88. Yeah, and then we did many records. And our third album, it was called True Steel. It got actually a worldwide release, which we were always hoping for. And I wanted to have an American manager. So we found somebody, and he had an American passport, but he was from Switzerland, and because we couldn't speak English that well, so it was very good that he could speak German and English. And we had a European manager as well, and he was actually a friend of ours. I really liked him a lot. He did really great stuff. He brought us the Monsters of Rock festivals in England, Germany. We hopped on tour with Judas Priest in 86 and Wasp in 86 in the UK. It was all great. So then we went on tour in America, and actually it got a little bit weird between the two managers and stuff. And then we recorded this album, Triumph and Agony, this one, which we are just working on the live album, the live Triumph and Agony. We're just in the finishing touches. Anyhow, we did this album, Triumph and Agony, and then we went on tour in Europe with Ronnie James Dio, and it was a great, it was a big success. Everybody was, we couldn't believe it. We were a little tiny band, and then suddenly it was pretty good. Tour. Yes,
huge show.
And then I was on tour, and my American manager, Alex Grobe was his name. He was a great guy, heavy hitter. He said, "Doro, the European manager left." And I said, "Really? Why? We are just, we're just making it." And he said, "Well, I don't know. We didn't talk about it, nothing." And he moved to Turkey, which that was a place you couldn't find anybody in Turkey. And there was no internet, no cell phones.
Yeah,
and we never
actually
talked about it. And I was very sad because I thought he was a great guy. And then we did another album after the Triumph and Agony album. We did another one, and then suddenly we got letters of lawyers and stuff that we couldn't use the name Warlock anymore. No. And I said, "No."
Why could you not use it? Was it? Did it come from the manager, from the manager that was in hiding in Turkey, or where did that come from?
Actually, yeah, he had nothing to do with the name, but he claimed that it was his name. So we had to go to court, and I thought, it will be not serious. Of course, we will win our name back. Yeah. And then, us metal kids, like the guys with the long hair and the studs, and the manager was dressed in like tie and like a white suit, and somehow he he looked really serious, incredible, and the judge gave him the name. And I started like screaming and stuff. And actually, they had to move me out of the courtroom.
Yes.
That was the first time that I was in court. And, I was so fuming. And then I thought, okay, it doesn't matter. We use the name Warlock anyhow, we will do it. No problem.
Yeah.
But it was a problem. And then we had posters. The next record was in the making. That record was called Force Majeure, and it was a Warlock record. And then suddenly we couldn't use the name Warlock anymore. It got really serious. And then we talked.
Let me see. I think you should have actually, because at that time in America, there was a show called The People's Court. And I think you remember the People's Court. And I think you should have taken him to the People's Court, because the people would have obviously sided with you.
Yeah,
but this sounds...
Absolutely. But this one, it was so unbelievable. And then, like in Germany, when you want to fight again, you have to put so much money on the table to even get a second chance. Right. There was no money left, even though it was sinfully successful. But yeah, that old manager, he was the merchandiser, so he got all the money, which I didn't care about, but he wanted to use the name. And then we thought, okay, what shall we do? The record company didn't like the idea of having another band name. And then somebody said, hey, how about you call it Doro? And I thought, okay, I don't want that, but let's do it for one record. And the next record, we will have our name back. And that took 20 years. So it wasn't 1 or 2 years. 20 years later, I got the right.
So you literally have the name Warlock back if you want to use it. But now, because you've established Doro as such a force and it is a one name. Everyone knows when I say the name Doro, it's a household name amongst the metal community and amongst, it's everybody. And by the way, this story about this band, it harkens me. I can't believe I used the word harkens, Vic. Do you remember that? I used the word harkens. It harkens me back to a previous episode with Tracy Guns, where we talked about he's going through a name battle with his band. And right now there's 2 LA Guns going out. And I'm not sure, because I think it's the drummer and Tracy. And then there's a big controversy with that. So band names... Folks, obviously, you can learn your lesson from Doro. Band names are important to get that merch, or at least get the understanding. But then even if you don't, use your own name, because then you'll actually sell twice as much words. Because you can actually reform Warlock if you want now and sell T-shirts with air and still have Doro as well, right?
Yeah. The one we are just working on the Triumph and Agony live album, I wanted to call it Doro Pesch of Warlock. And so there you have it. Yeah.
There's probably some band right now in Upper Cincinnati, Ohio going, I thought we were the only Warlock. Dang, and now we can't go up against this German metal queen. We can't have her go nuts again in court. I love it.
I'm Ryan Roxie, and I've taken all my years of experience of playing guitar, and I want to pass the torch of rock and roll on to you. Check out the System 12 Guitar Method.